Elias sat in the corner of a dimly lit coffee shop, the blue light of his laptop reflecting off tired eyes. It was 11:45 p.m. He was grinding. His screen was a mess of spreadsheets, SEO keywords, and a half-finished script. He was doing everything the gurus told him to do. He was waking up early, working late, and hustling. Yet, his bank account was a flatline. His reach was a ghost town. "You're doing it again," a voice drifted from the shadows. Elias looked up. An older man sat across from him, uninvited. He didn't look like a billionaire. He didn't wear a Rolex. He wore a simple black t-shirt and carried a stillness that felt heavier than the room itself. "Doing what?" Elias snapped. "You're trying to outrun the treadmill," the man said. "You think if you run at speed 10, you'll reach the finish line. But the treadmill is bolted to the floor, Elias. The faster you run, the more the machine profits from your sweat. You aren't building a kingdom, you're just a very efficient battery for someone else's grid." The man leaned forward. "The top 1% don't run. They step off the machine and look at the gears. While you're obsessing over how to work, they are obsessing over what is worth working on. Efficiency is doing things right. Effectiveness is doing the right things. You, my friend, are very efficient at being irrelevant." Elias felt a surge of anger. "I'm trying. I've had bad luck. The algorithm changed. I didn't have the startup capital my competitors had." "Stop," the man whispered. "Listen to the loop." "What loop?" "The story you tell yourself to make your failure feel comfortable. You've cast yourself as the hard-working underdog who is unlucky. It's a beautiful story. It protects your ego. But it's a prison." The man pulled out a coin and flipped it. "The 99% live in a loop of scarcity. You think you need money to make money. You think you need permission to speak. You think you need to be ready to start." He slammed the coin onto the table. "The 1% live in the loop of delusion. They decide they are the authority before they have a single follower. They decide they are wealthy while they are eating ramen. They don't wait for reality to change their mind. They use their mind to bend reality. You are waiting for the world to tell you who you are. The 1% tell the world who they are, and they repeat it until the world believes them." Elias looked at his reflection in the dark window. He realized he had been repeating the same unlucky story for 3 years. The loop was closed. He was the warden of his own jail cell. "It hurts, doesn't it?" the man asked, his voice softening. "Yes," Elias admitted. "Good. Most people spend their whole lives trying to avoid that feeling. They want a balanced life. They want stability. But stability is for the dead. A heart rate monitor that shows a straight line means you're a corpse." The man drew a jagged line on a napkin. "This is the path to the top 1%. It's a series of brutal lows and terrifying highs. When you hit a low, when your business fails, when your best video gets 0 views, when your partner leaves because you're obsessed, that is the forge. Most people hit the forge and they cool down. They become brittle. They quit. But the 1% stay in the fire. They realize that the pain isn't an obstacle, it's the price of admission." "And the highs?" Elias asked. "The highs are more dangerous," the man warned. "The high is when you get your first $10,000 month. The 99% buy a car. They relax. They think they've arrived. But the 1% know that success is a lease, and rent is due every single day. They use the high to build a fortress, not a playground." "So, what do I do?" Elias asked, his voice trembling. "Give me the strategy. The SEO. The funnel." The man laughed, a dry, hollow sound. "You're still asking for a map when you don't even have the lungs to climb the mountain. You don't need a new strategy. You need a new you." He leaned in so close Elias could smell the ozone in the air. "You have to commit identity suicide. You have to kill Elias the grinder. You have to kill Elias the victim. You have to murder the version of you that seeks comfort and likes being liked. The top 1% are often hated, misunderstood, and lonely, until they become icons. Are you willing to be the villain in everyone else's story so you can be the hero in yours?" The man stood up to leave. The difference between $0 and $1, $000,000 isn't math, the man said, writing one last formula on the napkin. $\text, transformation, equals \frac, text, death of ego, \text, obsession, $2. Elias sat alone as the sun began to peek through the coffee shop windows. The man was gone. He looked at his laptop. He looked at the safe scripts and the proven keywords. They felt like relics of a past life. He realized he had been playing a character in a movie called The Mediocre Man. He hit Ctrl+A. He hit delete. The screen was white. A blank canvas. He wasn't going to try to make a video. He was going to become the man who dominated the niche. He was no longer the student. He was the master of his craft. The fear of having nothing on the screen, but he welcomed it. It was the cold air of the mountain peak. Elias didn't go home to sleep. He started typing. Not for the algorithm. Not for the likes. But for the 1% version of himself that was finally, for the first time, breathing. The machine was still there. But Elias was no longer the ghost inside it. He was the one rewriting the code.